Views expressed in the videos are my observation, analysis of events, persons based on principles of astrology. It's not my intent to predict, forecast absolute outcomes, only suggest how they may unfold. Nothing is set in stone. I could be wrong, but often I'm right. My desire is not to promote fear, only inform about what we see unfolding. It is our wish to prepare our subscribers for events that could affect them, their family, their goals, and their future, to help to prepare for what you may already suspect is happening, and to send a warning shot across the bow and raise a flag of concern. Our goal is to help, not hinder, in these perilous times, to inspire and offer possible direction, and to reveal that a greater plan and purpose are behind all that is happening. Eventually, we will see a brighter day. If you would like to show your appreciation for our work on these videos or this channel, and also the Knowing Whispers channel, you can always click on the word thanks at the bottom of all the videos. Hello everybody, it's Robert Cosmar of the Astrology of Life YouTube channel and the 3 Substack newsletters, Knowing Whispers, Messages from the Universe, Trump in America, and Ask the Astrologer. Today my video is going to be, I think, entitled somewhere in the vicinity of Vladimir Putin and the U.S. election. Although this actual video is going to cover more than just the election. Okay, if you have been watching the news, there has been some coverage, but not anything to the extent that it would cause, a buildup of hysteria or concern. But apparently, there is some intelligence that says that Russia has placed some subs close to the United States of America up around the Arctic Circle. Okay, and I put out on the community section a comment in there where the U.S. has started to respond by moving forces potentially in that direction. Okay, so there's something going on. And I also made the comment that I wondered whether or not this is a move by Putin to try to influence the election by creating some kind of intimidation, some kind of threat to the USA or perceived threat, a deceived threat that would cause people to be concerned about, who to elect for president of the United States. So this video actually came about because I was watching a video by Cash Peters. If you've had a chance to visit his website, actually his YouTube channel, and watch some of his videos, you will get some very interesting, up-to-date insight in regards to what's happening in the world. I do highly recommend Cash. I think he's a fine medium, or I guess visionary he might like to be called. But I really recommend that if you get a chance to, you also check out his YouTube channel. Okay, but the inspiration for this video actually came because of something he said when he did a reading regarding the future of Vladimir Putin, and you might be able to find that on his channel also. Okay, I'm going to start off with the chart of Vladimir Putin. Okay, now this chart does not have a high rating for the birth time. Okay, it almost looks like this chart was rectified by maybe an astrologer or astrologers who wanted to, get a feel for his personality. Okay, so what I'm telling you here, okay, you cannot take it to be absolutely 100% astrologically accurate. Okay, but it does seem to fit his personality. Okay, you noticed up here that Pluto is on the midheaven. Okay, so an individual whose life purpose, life goal, ambition, okay, is power, transformation, and things of that general nature. Okay, he is also an ex-KGB officer. Okay, KGB is kind of like the CIA in the United States of America, although they have a worse reputation, at least that we know of. And you can see here that he has Saturn is conjuncting the Sun. Neptune is conjuncting Mercury here in the sign of Libra. Okay, This definitely, again, it's one of those things where you wish you had the exact birth time. Because when you're talking about Neptune conjuncting Mercury, okay, in the chart of most individuals, you're talking about deception, okay? You're talking about maybe thinking that is highly idealistic, highly fanatical, radical, okay? Things of that nature. And of course, with Saturn conjuncting, the Sun, you're talking about an individual that is very heavily influenced, okay, by circumstances that um, dominate him, dominate who he is. And what I'm talking about here is that no doubt his relationship growing up with his father, for example, was probably very strict, very rigid, and that the chart would fit that type of personality. Okay. The thing, though, that I found out really interesting about this chart, okay, and I did look at some other charts, okay, on his horoscope, because I noticed over here in this particular program, which is Janus 6.1, you'll notice that there are no aspects here to the moon, okay, other than Eris down here. All right, now, when a person doesn't have a lot of aspects to the moon, okay, this is critical from the standpoint of empathy, whether or not the person can emotionally relate, cares to emotionally to relate with other people. Now, in some other programs that I used, there are some minor aspects to the moon, okay? But there are not enough really solid aspects from either planets you would consider to be benefic or even malefic planets. They're just not strong connections. So again, I go back to this idea of empathy, somebody that can empathize with other people, other people's plight, other people's circumstances. So for somebody who is essentially the ruler, the king of Russia, this type of chart fits him very well in regards to the way that he presents himself and his background, and the fact that he, as Joe Biden had called one time, is a killer. Okay, and some individuals that get into high places of power like that, because of their own fears, they do become killers. Okay, so what is significant about these particular charts that I'm going to show you? Okay, and I'm going to go to the next chart here. Okay, this right here. Now, this aspect, you can see Neptune, I believe, is going retrograde to squaring the Mars in the chart of Vladimir Putin. Okay, and some of you may notice that the name, I spelled his name incorrectly. It's Vladimir and not Vladimir, so keep that in mind. But this is a very interesting aspect. If you get a chance to, and you happen to have the book by Alan Leo that really gets into progressed charts, he has a very disturbing delineation of progressed Mars squaring Neptune. Okay, basically this is an indication of actions that are initiated that are not well thought out. Okay, that the consequences are not well thought out. All right, and when I go to the next chart here, I think, or the next couple charts, all right, okay, this is the other part here before I get to the other charts that I wanted to point out. Progressed Sun is going to conjunct that natal Mars. Okay, that transiting Neptune squaring natal Mars is a bad aspect that often has a violent ending to it. Okay, progressed Sun conjuncting that Mars creates kind of a double whammy. You have a severe transit going on. It won't be exactly in orb, okay, at the time this progressed Sun conjuncts Mars, but it's still within the orb of influence. Okay, and I'll show you here in a minute why it's important to remember that Neptune squaring Mars. Progressed Sun conjuncting Mars is an aspect where a person becomes inflamed inflamed. It's like Mars on steroids. It's like they're impassioned to want to take action, to do something. Okay, and of course, with that transiting Neptune squaring Mars, they're probably either not thinking really clearly or they have made decisions that were not wise decisions. Okay, so keep this in mind. This is exact on December the 25th of 2024 in Putin's horoscope. Okay, other things to consider that have been going on in his chart, progressions in particular. Okay, his progressed Mars is opposing Pluto. It'll probably be a couple years before it's exact, but it's still pretty close. All right, progressed Mars squaring Jupiter. Okay, again, impulsivity. It's separated, but it's still in orb. Okay, so it gives you an idea here of what Vladimir Putin is dealing with that maybe he doesn't show to the public. Okay, even though there's been a lot of talk here recently about his time running out. Okay, or that there are coups that may be stirred, against him and things of this nature. Okay, Jupiter. Okay, by progression, opposing his natal Venus. Okay, again, impulsiveness. Okay, recklessness. All right, things of this particular nature, and it's just basically separated from this exact. So we have a lot of worry on Vladimir Putin's side about what is happening to him in his position. Okay, from the astrological perspective, okay, and I'm going to change to another window here, another view. From the standpoint of his horoscope astrologically, all right, notice here that transiting Neptune squared Mars, okay, April the 24th of 2022. This is when Russia invaded the Ukraine. Okay, his whole basis of invading the Ukraine was based upon whatever ideas he came up with while Neptune was squaring Mars. Now keep in mind that his natal Neptune and Mercury are conjunct. Okay, so he is open to deception. He's open to deceiving. Okay, and this carries over in his thinking and the actions that he takes. Okay, now this begins with the invasion of the Ukraine in 2022. All right, this is 2023-24. You can see here, September 2023, February 2024, Neptune squaring Mars. Okay, and finally, as we go into the period of 2024, November 2025, all right, you can see here that Neptune squaring Mars has almost come into the close orb of its exactness, but not quite. All right, but the entire period so far that we have seen the situation in the Ukraine has been while Neptune has been squaring Vladimir Putin's natal Mars. Okay, and that natal Mars is going to be conjuncted by his progressed Sun on December the 25th, 2024. Okay, something's going to occur. Okay, and the question is he going to make a bad decision based upon a history of bad decisions that are going to shock and startle the world, that are going to cause a situation in the United States, okay, where people will feel more than they have felt threatened by his actions, his deeds. Okay, no doubt sometime between now and December the 25th, very likely Putin is going to make a decision that is going to most likely fail, but it's going to have a tremendous shock value. And it's probably designed somewhat to aid Trump in taking back the White House. We'll just have to see, what happens, how it develops, and hope that it doesn't work right for him. Okay, now the last chart here that I wanted to touch on. This is the synastry comparison of Vladimir Putin's planets, natal planets here, and the chart of the United States of America. All right. And from his position as the ruler of Russia, okay, this would indicate his influence, his impact upon the chart of the United States of America. And of course, we don't know, we can't say for certain what is the exact time that the United States became the United States. We don't have an exact time. The 5:10 p.m. is a guess, basically. And we're not certain about Vladimir Putin, but we can look at the planets and how they aspect one another, okay, to see what impact, could be going on. You can see here that the natal Pluto of Vladimir Putin is in opposition to the United States' moon, okay? And of course, Pluto and the moon, any kind of aspect between Pluto and anything is either transformation or it's control, or it creates a situation of disturbing concern because the factor of control, domination, or whatever is in there, okay? His Neptune, okay, squares the Mercury, okay? Now, Mercury doesn't rule voting directly, but in a sense, it is a way of communicating, voting, casting your vote, okay? So you can see here in this situation the potential for his Neptune energy wanting to have some kind of an impact upon the thinking of the people of the United States of America, okay? His Uranus conjuncts the sun of the United States of America, and it also squares Saturn, okay? Uranus, change, the unexpected, freedom, okay? All of these things, disruption, unexpected events not planned, things of this nature. His Saturn squares the sun, okay, in the United States of America, the ruling body, the president, Congress, and things of that. And then it also conjuncts, all right, the natal Saturn of the United States of America. Now, this to me is kind of a karmic thing. This is kind of a situation of saying, okay, the United States of America and Vladimir Putin, you two are going to be bonded together, okay, by these two placements of Saturn at this one location, and you're going to somehow politically duke it out. All right, so keep that in mind. Mercury squaring Mercury, there's no question about that. It's different philosophies, different thinking. The sun squaring the sun, the same thing, contrasting differences. Okay, so this is just to give you kind of an idea, okay, of the relationship that would occur between an individual and a large, organization such as the United States of America. And these things do, in fact, happen, okay? Karma, fate, and destiny plays a role in everything and in everyone's life, okay? And you can utilize astrology to be able to see why it is that maybe you had a particular relationship with an organization or a company and why maybe it did or did not work out. Same thing with relationships between people, okay? Synastry is a way of finding out how well you will get along with someone, whether it's an organization or it's an individual. Okay, all right. And we're back here to his natal horoscope, which, again, I want to caution you, we don't believe this 9:30 a.m. is valid, completely valid, but if it's been rectified, it's been set up to kind of, mirror the personality of someone like Vladimir Putin. The two things, again, to take away from this, all right, in regards to the election, is that this Neptune, transiting Neptune, has been squaring Mars ever since Ukraine was invaded by Russia, okay? It's why he invaded Ukraine, okay? The thing that we want to keep an eye on is the progressed Sun conjuncting Mars on December the 25th of 2024. This could be some kind of outrageous attempt by him, even though it's after the election, because it could happen before the election. We're talking about a progression here, all right? We're talking about a situation of a dynamic action taken, okay, that could, as I mentioned, I think in the community section this past week, This could be part of the Uranus squaring the moon in the USA chart, where something that happens is considered to be a threat, okay, that makes things much more tense than what they already are here in the United States of America. Those are the two things to keep in mind. And other things here that I've talked about, circumstances relative to, his impulsiveness. Uh, this here, the progressed Mars opposing Pluto, okay, might be interesting in regards to any particular violence to him that could occur. Okay, I'm done. I hope you enjoy this. I hope it gives you some reason to think through what's going on, and that it helps you to put in perspective anything that we might see happening in the near future. All right. Those of you that are members and subscribers to the channel, thank you again. Those of you that have made donations either sporadically or on a monthly basis, thank you. It is appreciated. And don't forget about CJ's two Substack newsletters. One's called CJ's World over on Substack, and the other one is CJ's Whispers of Knowing, okay, where she shares her insights from her guidance with her readers. It's well worth going there and reading her material. And if you choose to, again, as I mentioned, my three Substacks, I think you'll find some interesting and enlightening information there too that might help you to deal with the change that's going on in the world and in our lives. Okay. From the love of my life, CJ, my spiritual partner, my best friend, we thank you again. From Riri, our little 10-pound chihuahua, we want to thank you all. And we hope that you're healthy and that you're ready to cast your vote on November the 5th and to make a brighter day than what we've been dealing with for about the last 6 to 8 years. Have a great day.